very beautiful day to every single person. I am truly so excited to be here on another edition of Foundations for Success. And this is really very encouraging. This is actually very beautiful. Life's already been touched. From the podcast we had last week, I was really so glad and happy to see some people already taking actions in line with their dreams. And I want to have a very close talk with you. Like, Foundation for Success is normally just between 40 minutes to 45 minutes. And I wanted just to discuss about you, discuss about your person, discuss about your life. I said something that was foundational last week, talking about the fact that if something happened to you right now and then you died, what will people celebrate? Are they just going to celebrate the fact that you existed? Or are they going to celebrate the fact that you left a legacy that can, like a relay race, a legacy that can be carried on by subsequent generations to come? It's one of the greatest advice a mentor told me years ago by name Jim Corbett in the United States. He told me something. He said, let your ceiling be your children's floor. In other words, everything you're doing right now is not about you. You're not just about you. Your dreams are not about you. I'm going to releasing my book. It's already on Amazon. I think discovering your developing your gift, a very powerful book. Where I'm going to be touching some things in depth in that book that I believe is really going to help you understand the whys, the important, the reasons why you need to get up and do a lot with the things God has given you. I said something last week also. I said life is not a gift. Life is a loan. If it was a gift, you will not be asked to account for it at the end of your life. So it becomes critical for you to really hold these things very importantly. Because everything you're looking for, from the money you want to have, from the cars you want to drive, from the houses you want to do, and every single thing, they all lie, they are in the, that's the harvest form. But for every harvest, there's one singular requirement that's very critical, and that requirement is seed. In other words, God planted seed within you. He planted them as gifts, He planted them as potentials, He planted them as capabilities. And until you begin to give attention to those dreams, to those potentials, to those gifts, you're going to discover that you walk throughout life, helping every other person's dream come true, and yours never came true. So the truth of the matter, a lot of people on earth are actually living on a survival mentality. And they've not scratched the surface of their purpose. There's this book called Purpose Driven Life, I believe by Rick Warren, and that's one fundamental book. So launching into what I have today, the first night, now I don't want this to be I don't want this to be just full of theories. I want this to be very practical. And it becomes critical for you to actually have notes. It becomes critical. The reason you write notes, because now this is the problem we have. Why? Now, let me tell you this, in time is a currency. You can either spend it or you can invest it. So if I may as well listen to somebody talk, I could as well give that time to really understanding the power behind their words. And if there's something there for me to take, then I take it. If there's nothing, then it's all good, all the same. But you must ensure that if for every word you hear in church, for every word you hear by a coach like myself, that there is something you're taking home. Now, there are two things that are very important in life. I talked about the R to R factor last week, the revelation to reality model. There's another R to R we're talking about today. I learned that some time ago from Les Brown. He talked about the reason and results. The reason, if you have reasons, tend towards excuses, and then results tend towards what you've been able to do with the same similar excuse every other person is given, and but you've done something about that. And remember, I want to go back to what I said. Time is a currency. It can either be spent or it can be invested. And I want you to invest this very brief time that we have. So one of the first point I want to bring in this very day is, remember, I just said something. If you die, will people remember you because you existed? Or will they remember you because you put your potentials, your gift, your talent to work? It becomes very critical for you to always ask yourself that question so that you can be in line with everything God has given you. Now, this is what happens a lot of times. I believe the good book, the Bible says something in Jeremiah 29:11 that I know the thoughts and the plans I have towards you. Thoughts, to bring you to an experience, not thoughts of evil. And God, a lot of times, would put certain opportunities in your way for you to be able to translate those opportunities through hard work, through faith, through realistic things that can grow in your life. So one very important thing you need to understand is already is that time is a currency. What are you doing at this point? If you leave Earth today, what would you be remembered for? Existence or purpose? Now, if you're going to be remembered for purpose, it means that if you've not jumped on the rail, if you've not jumped on the road to start up your dreams, or that thing you've been bet with, that thing that you have inside you as an innate potential capability, then something is wrong. And one of the reasons I promised you last week I'm going to talk about, one of the reasons a lot of people never jump into the reality of their gifts is because they procrastinate, because they believe they don't have the right resources and they don't have the right platforms. And the more we wait for this, they are not the key things, they are not the seed, but they are just the things that actually help the seed to bear result. In other words, the more we begin to wait for those constituents, we neglect the dream becomes vestigial. In other words, it becomes less important to you. And then the reality you live are the excuses you give every now and then. So some people now build their comfort zone around their excuses. I don't have money. Now let's take a particular example of myself right now. This has really been, I've carried this for a long time. Charles, you need to speak to the world. You need to speak to a lot of individuals. Now, you've been doing that a long time, you know, and for one thing or the other, you are able to reshape this now so that a global audience can enjoy it. And so that makes me feel good. It's not first of all about the money I can get from putting this program on air. It's not just necessarily about, you know, the effigy, you know, the popularity. No, it's the fact that even though it's just one person listening to me at the sound of my voice, if it's just one person that can take this back and do something with it, then it makes sense. It makes sense. So in other words, the more you wait to be true prepared for the things God has given you, you're never going to unlock the opportunities along the way that he wants you to have. Now, this is the way it works. Whenever God gives you a vision, whenever he gives you a dream, whenever he gives you a potential and you don't put them to work, you delay the next success level, because faith has to be activated on the seed you have right now. I said something last week. A seed, let me use this as a, now let's take for example, there's a seed in my hand. Now a seed in your hands will not grow. It is a seed that you take in the right environment that leads to multiplicity, that leads to growth. So the other, what am I trying to say? If the seed remains in your hand by virtue of what I'm saying, if the seed remains in your life and nothing is being done about it, it cannot produce harvest. The good about thing about your mind, you're going to think about the harvest every now and then. You're going to wish about the harvest, and you will never know that all it took for you to convert that seed to reality, to result, is for you to put it to work. So the first thing I want you to do this morning is that I want you, this very evening, is I want you to write down things about yourself that you're discovered. Don't let it be too much. There's so many things you do. I don't want you to be jack of all trades, even though sometimes that actually yields some result. I want you to just take a barrel on a paper, 1, 2, 3. What is that thing crying inside me for expression? That is a gift. What is that ability that other people struggle with, but I seem to be able to have, you know, a way around it, you know, naturally. Now, when you come to career clusters, and in psychology, there are about 6 different categories of people. People are classed along this 6 category. And I'll give you, we have realistic people, we have investigative people, we have socially inclined people, we have enterprising people, we have conventional people, and then we have artistic people. And everybody, you listen to me right now, you fall in one of this class. Now, this is the reason I say subscribe for the Foundation of Success podcast and the class, so that you can get deeper. This, what I'm doing right now, is free. It's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on Facebook, you know, like you're having the access to it right now. But the deeper things that could give you that advantage for you to really understand yourself better, those things are going to lie within the premium classes that I'm going to give those people that are actually truly subscribing to the class. So within these 6 categories, you fall in one of them. Now, if you are an artistic person and then you're trying to go with conventional capabilities, You go to work so well. Sometimes you even go to hit, good milestones there, but you're never going to feel fulfilled. It's like a bird working so hard to learn how to swim. Or it's like a fish working so hard to learn how to, dreaming about how it can fly some days. I believe I can fly. It never works with a bird. It never works with a fish. So, and this is a dangerous part. I'm going to be giving you some very dangerous things that a lot of you don't know that you do, and that is very wrong. Now, because you believe that, you've been talked about, people have talked to you about it, and people have told you that, wow, you need to fly when you are wired to be a fish. So you spend the next 20, 30, 40 years learning how to fly. And if you're able to you're able to take a dive from one point of the sea or the river back to another point, you feel elated, you feel happy, but you were never designed to be a bird. So this makes it very critical for you to give time to yourself to really understand what is that thing you've been given to make a serious point on earth. So I want to take a bar on a paper, write 1, 2, 3. What are the things crying within you? What is that pregnancy that won't let you sleep? What is that pregnancy you've been aborting that you need to begin to give attention to? It becomes critical, it becomes important. Another point I want to talk about is that same gift, that same potential is what we, at the end of the day, help your economic engine to get built at the end of the day. There are some things in me right now. In as much as I've been a public speaker for the past 12 years, I've been able to help a lot of life. I've been on radio, I've been on television. There are still things about myself today that I'm beginning to discover. I never knew I could be able to break into an international audience until about 5 years ago, and I did so well at it. I never knew that I would be able to do corporate voiceovers. I never knew within my voice that my voice can become a capital for my economic engine and to bless other organizations. Never knew that. I never knew at the end of the day I could be able to be the master of ceremony to major events. For the past 2 months, for the past 2, 3 months, I've been able to, host a program on a global scale. I never knew I could do that, but thank God for mentors. I told you the importance of having mentors, teachers, having friends that inspire you. There's no time to waste time on vestigial relationships. If you bought my book, I think that's the book that's When I Grow Up. It's a book that has been used by several schools in the northern part of Nigeria and even some part of Lagos also, to really understand, the social clusters I talked about. And it helps you to really understand the power behind understanding that there are things within you that you need to put to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to write those things down. I want you to review this for the next 24 hours because you just may be cheating yourself out of life. So, 1, 2, 3. Remember, there are reasons and there are results. If the world is going to pay you for your gift, like Michael Jackson, if the world is going to pay you for your gift, like Bill Gates, with Microsoft, if the world is going to pay you for your gift, like Steve Jobs and Apple, if the world is going to pay you for your gift, like Walt Disney, and a lot of people that put their dreams to work, the Dangotes of this world, the Otedolas of this world, then you have to put the seed you have. Listen, you don't have what they have now because what they have now, they didn't have it then. But the ability to be able to put something to work gave rise to where they are right now. It is an anomaly for you to be alive and the generation coming after you are poor. Why? Because you did not put one gift to work. Are you listening to me? People in the world, nobody is going to pay you for reasons that you give, the excuses you give. People pay you for results, and you have to deliver. So if you have to spend 1 hour, 2 hours every single day to think about your own life and what you have, then you are among the most gifted persons on the face of the earth. Right now, I'm speaking to you. I am not in the level of Otedola. I'm not in the level of Dangote by reason of the financial capacity that they have. But by God's grace, I am so happy because I am operating my divine capacity to be able to bless someone this day. And I want to share this with every young person listening. Now, young people, listen to me, please take your gift very seriously. Funny enough, it may not even be as a result of the school you went to. That just may be something. I know about comedians today, that have been able to, oil their crafts. And just by reason of identifying the fact that they are comical and they have been able to, put that in the right limelight, they are earning millions of naira. Some of them on the other side of the world, the Western world, they are earning millions of dollars. The same thing with the average musicians. These are not people that maybe, somebody came and said, no, they use what they have to get what they want right now. So what about you? But what I want to talk about deeply today is for everyone, you are where you are now based on your mentality, based on your belief system. And that's one thing I'm going to be talking about next week to help you deal with. I'm going to start that class, with the people that have actually subscribed. But on the same sport, 4 o'clock next Sunday, I'm going to be talking about how you can begin to, clean up your belief system. I want to do a mental surgery and begin to clean up everything that you have believed that is erroneous. And one of the great things I want to do is the issue of skin color. The reason a lot of Nigerians are not making wave, the reason a lot of Africans are not making wave is because you have so much seen, the stardom, you've so much seen the glamour, you've so much seen the popularity, the fame of people on the other side of the divide, on the other side of the world, and you never believe in yourself that you can become, a star someday. You never become a star outwardly until you believe it internally. Right now, I don't know how many people have hooked up for this TV program, but I strongly believe that in a very short time for now, if I don't procrastinate, if I don't give up, we're going to have thousands into millions that are going to be crying every now and then to just get a hold of this program. Why? It first starts with belief. Now, the mistake, and another thing about your belief system that is also erroneous, is not the fact also that you believe that you cannot reach where every other person out there has reached, but the fact that you believe that the moment you start, people are going to laugh at you. You just feel people are going to say you're wasting your time. Why? Because you're not talking about what every other person is talking about. There's someone right now doing what I'm doing, and they're telling you about 99 ways you can actually make money. How you can make $10,000 in a minute, and so on. All those are beautiful, but I'm more interested not in what you can make outwardly, but what you can identify inside that can be your best gift. Miles Monroe was one of the world's greatest gifts that ever happened to Earth. Les Brown is a great gift. Tony Robbins is a great gift. And I'm so proud also to be able to carry, that same spirit, to be able to bless lives. And so I consider myself one of the best gifts that ever happened to Earth. I talked about being small last week. Whatever you see as small, it will remain small. So if you look at yourself and you begin to look at your gift and your seeds as small, that is what they will eventually become. So remember, the first assignment today was I want to take I told you to write down trees. Have you written that down? Then now that you've written those gifts down, can you begin to also write what you need to do right now? I know a lot of you are going to be used to assignment. People say, okay, after the show, go do so. I want you to work on those things right now. I want to work on it. If it's music, what do you need right now? The next thing you're going to need after you're writing those things down, you're going to need management. And management comes in different forms. The reason why a lot of artists and a lot of people don't do well in the musical scene or don't stay, they just have a short span in staying within the musical industry is because they lack management. The danger about gifts that give you prominence, that give you popularity, and you've not built character that can sustain them is that when you fall, when you are at this level of life, when you fall down, you could get hurt, but you could get treated, you could get up. But when you're not in this level, you fall at this level, you're crashing. That's why in other words, you'll never see a fall happening before a rise. It's always the rise and the fall. Why? Because you don't want to rise without having the character that sustains you there. So management becomes critically important. There are so many people I've actually worked with in my very brief time in trying to talk to youth, and a lot of people. And it's called one of the greatest problems they always had is that they always want to rush to that fellow someone somewhere there that seemed to be flashy. And so even when you're trying to tell them, this is what you need to do now, some people are not willing to give the time to it. If you give 1 month of attention to yourself, that 1 month, what it will produce for the next 5 years, 10 years is remarkable. So let me get back to what I said. So the first, now that you've written those things down, the next thing is management. If yours was a small business, you're selling something small for exchange for money, selling value for exchange of money. One of the reasons maybe it may not have been working well is it's not that gift is not where you were called to. It's the absence of management. And when management is lacking, what do? We fall back to reasons, excuses. So what are some of the excuses why your business is not moving? Someone will say, okay, the reason not moving, I'm in the wrong geographical space. So at the end of the day, you've not looked at the model you're using, whether the model works. You just assume you're in the wrong geographical space. Someone would say, oh, no, I was not wired for that. No. The first thing you need the moment you've identified your gift is management. You need to be able to manage properly. I want to talk about management. You want to look at, there are 2 areas of management you want to look at. I'm going to be sending the templates of what I'm talking about right now to every single person. So management, there's management. You need to have people, and then you also need to have materials. Now, I have several gadgets around me. I have an organizer that helps me to be able to tell me where I am right now with regards to my gift. In terms of management, I have a financial management system that makes me understand why I should buy what I need to buy today and why I shouldn't buy the other thing. So I have been able to deal with the issue of impulse purchase. I've been able to deal with the issue of debts because I have a management system. Whatever you don't manage would not last in your life. So I don't want to be that person that will tell you, okay, you discover your gift, you develop your gift, you maximize your gift, and don't tell you about the proper management of it. So management becomes critically important. This is actually why when you get to every single person that matter in the world right now, you're not going to get easy access to them. Why? Because there is a management. They want to manage their time. They want to manage their energy. They want to manage their resources. So the reason why you can't pick a phone call right now and call Bill Gates, or call Dangote, is not because they are not easily accessible. A lot of people don't know. I would teach that in another business class. I tell people about how I've been able to break through to certain people just by tweaking some little ethics. Some people call it life hacks to get to them. Everybody is in need of somebody that delivers value. Well, that's not where I'm going to today, so I'm just going to stay within your. So what am I saying? The reason you can't get to them is, but they want to protect their focus. They want to protect their focus. The reason people have PAs, personal assistants, because they want to protect their focus. If you find a leader that's everywhere, every time, with everybody, that leader is expending so much energy that they cannot be able to manage the resource. And if you get back to the good books, that happened with Moses. He wanted to go out and do everything, and then it took the words of an elder, Jethro, to tell the Moses, cool down. This is how you should do it. Strategy becomes important wherever your gift and your success is concerned. So management, you need management in terms of people. I believe that there are 7 classes of people you need to have in your life every single moment. If you want to get more on that, you want to get my book, The Most Gifted Person in the World. I say all this. When I say it, people think you're just trying to sell, Well, it's beautiful to sell. Why? It's very important. Why? Because it took a lot of mental exhaustion. It took a lot of, literal capability, or what they call intellectual capacity to put that together. And so if it's valuable, like it has been to so many people that have had their lives change, then it can be valuable to you. So go get my book. Just go to charles.com.ng and go to my shop or my store, and then you are going to be able to get access to that book. So you're supposed to have about 10 people. I don't have friends. I pause because I believe that will be shocking to people. Where we are in life, there's no time to waste time right now. You want to have investors. You want to have people that drive. You want to have generators. You want to have people that help to take you to the next level. I stopped having friends a long time ago. Now, let me explain before you get me wrong. When I say have friends, our definition of friendship in Africa, in all the part of the world, is acquaintance. We don't really have friends. We have acquaintance, people that just occupy the space of your life. So they don't have what to do with their time. And so the best thing to do is to come into your own time, and you go, you drink, you smoke, you humanize, and then you do every other thing. You talk about, you gossip about government, and that is it. That is what a lot of us call friendship. I want to give you words in that book, but no, I don't want to do that. I want you to go get that book. You can get it on my website. Go get it. And I'm going to talk about, maybe about, just think about three. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a mentor. It's critical. Then another thing I also wrote, I don't have friends. I have destiny partners. That's a key word that you need to understand. Write that down. You need to have destiny partners. Who is a destiny partner? A destiny partner is someone that is very, very critical to the success of your dream. There are a lot of people God has put around you that you are neglecting right now, but God put those people around your life for your own safety, for your own growth. It's so sad right now that a lot of people, a lot of young people that have been able to, I really wanted to see them grow in life. But the truth of the matter, if you don't know what you're looking for, when you find any other thing, you think you found it. And so this is hard truth. My life is growing, I'm not where I used to be yesterday. I'm far, far far better, and I'm moving to best. I like Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great. I'm not in good any longer. I'm moving to greatness. Why? Because you need to know the amount of time I give to develop myself. I sleep less. Why? Because I sleep less now because I want to sleep more tomorrow. It's better for me to sleep more now, and then when tomorrow comes, because of the regrets and the fact that I'm not able to put food on the table and so many other things, I have sleepless nights. So sleepless night is actually a gift in disguise, because the more sleepless nights you have towards creation of your dream, developing discovering and developing and deploying your gift, 3 levels: discover, develop, deploy. The moment you begin to understand that and give that time, you will live the next decade, the next 2 decades as a king and not as someone that's just called to occupy space in life. So management is very important. I'm not going to be able to have the time to go on the third part, but this is critical. Remember, you've written your gift down. The next thing is management. Now, for people that already want to manage their business, if it's an SMA, you want to get close to me. If it's a gift, you want to get close to me. Now, there's so many things I wrote down here. You will not believe this. I'm into music. Some people already know that about me. I write, I play the keyboard, and I'm someone that's very, very good when it comes to the musical industry. But if you're not also able to spread the time for these different things, you will not be able to, get the right thing. I'm into IT. I do a lot of web development. I'm beginning to get into developing what I call it now, apps, and I'm into graphics. So many gifts. So many gifts. I'm one of the baddest salesperson you don't want to get close to. You know why I say that? Because the moment you give me 1 minute of your time, you will get convinced. So these are skills that over time have been able to learn. And let me get you. They said adversity. Listen, someone say experience is the best teacher. No, adversity a lot of time is the best teacher for a man. Because if you never go through stuff in life, you will never be able to understand the importance of mastery. Most of these things I mastered while I started my business. I began to understand that I don't have the money to pay professionals now, consultants. So what if I learn some of the skills? I need to hire them. I need to hire out. And then I need to have an online space. So I need to begin to understand how the online space works. And then now that has not just become something I'm developing for my business. It has become something that I get to develop from people even outside the country, even in Nigeria. Why I'm still very busy working. So don't toy with your gift. Your gift is a seed. Someone says, if I showed you something now, if I gave you this now and told you this is, if I gave you this and told you that this is a harvest, my small did this years ago, you're going to say, no, this is not a harvest. No, you deny that this is not a harvest. You're going to tell me that this is a seed. Now let's imagine in your mind that this is a seed. What that means at the end of the day, every seed, the moment you see seeds as seed, they remain seeds. But the moment you begin to see the potential they carry, you will understand that every seed is in its harvest form. So what you don't do something with actually becomes vestigial. So I want to wrap up right now because I promised I was going to just take about 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and then I will be able to go. By next week, we'll see if we can have a provision for people to be able to throw in their questions, and I'm going to be willing to answer some of those questions. So let me quickly talk about one of that gift. I discovered I have a very, because of my baritone voice, I can do corporate voiceovers. And so right now, and begin to put that. I'm in a development stage of that. So organizations are going to be willing to pay me just to speak for them. I didn't know I had that some years ago, but now I do. So that's what I'm talking about. Discover the potential. And someone say, I know one of the questions I've been asked over and over again, how do I discover my gifts? Simple. What are you yearning for? What problems do you see and then you wish that you can just be the one to solve? What problems actually keep you, every sleepless every now and then? What problems that you see you seem to invest the most amount of time in identifying those things? Then that could just be that there's a gift calling you in that particular area. So this becomes critical. It becomes real. So ladies and gentlemen, it becomes critical for you to really understand the power of what I'm talking about. You need to be able to really understand the fact that life that you live right now is just one time. It's not like a video game where you have millions, where you have 7 lives, 8 lives, or like Jumanji. No, you just have one life to live. And because of some things you're not doing right now, the next generation coming, think about it. You want grandchildren that when they come to life, they don't have to suffer like you've suffered. But if that's going to happen, if you're married right now, or if you have kids, let those kids be your why. Let that spouse be your why. You can't stay at the level you are, in the same convenient thing. No. You got to find what can translate that, give that potential into a working capital for the next generation. So I don't know how anything I would have talked about today. I don't know where they meet you. But remember, time is a currency. Now, that's the last time we'll talk about. How do you begin to treat time as a currency? Now, let me tell you what. Let me even imagine I give you 24,000 naira. Just the same way you have 24 hours. I believe you're not going to take the whole 24,000 naira and just go, get something. One of the things you want to do is that this is a circle of life a lot of us have been doing. You get 24,000 naira, you just go buy whatever is that thing that you're hungry for to buy today without asking yourself what's the relevance of that thing to the nearest future or to the far future. And so that's what we do with time also. So we wake up every morning, we're able to thank God, Lord, thank you for this time that you're giving. But you know what we do? We take the time, 24 hours, like the 24,000 naira or $24,000, and we just use it anyhow. Whatever you give relevance to begins to actually increase in the value. So that's one of the things I want to take home today. So remember, time is very vital. Time is a currency. That's actually why we call it, they'll say the currency of this country, the currency of that country. Why? Because money flows. But remember what I said, it flows in direction of value. So if you're not a value creator, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to remain a consumer. And what do consumers do? Consumers take whatever they've been able to earn and they give it to the producers. All right, thank you very much for that. So one of the most important things, like I say, the first thing you want to do is identify those things. And I want to do it now, right now, not tomorrow, not after the program, but right now. Write down those 3 things that now when I talk about gifts, the thought a lot of you have is when people talk about that, what do? You want to think about tomorrow. You want to think about, oh, I work. Now, even though you're in active service, you work for an organization, you're a civil servant, you can still put those things to work. It becomes critical. Why? Because life is lived on the currency of your decisions. That's very critical. So the truth of the matter, you don't want to live your life and tomorrow when you get to retire, you're asking yourself, you now begin to realize that there are certain key things. You're going to live miserable. You're going to be dying inside. Why? Because you're trying to, just do or fulfill one part that helps this level to grow, and then you've forgotten that tomorrow, that the moment you get to retire, that your retirement benefits can never build your dreams. Never. So you must find a way to be able to work so well with these different diversities and dimensions in a way where you're able to manage your time properly. That's actually why we're doing this program right now on Sunday. Why? Because I know that my time within the week is really dedicated towards, value being delivered to what I do as a job, and then so many other things that I do. So that becomes critical. So remember, write down your gifts, and management becomes critical. And then next week, I believe I'm going to talk about the different things. Remember, I want to talk about management. There's people management, part for that gift you discover. Now, remember, it's not for every gift. The mistake a lot of us make is that, let's take, for example, the pastors. If we begin to understand the importance of what God is doing with people like me right now, you begin to understand that diversity is actually very beautiful. In other words, by the time someone pastors you and that same person is your financial consultant, that same person is your relationship consultant, that person is trying to do everything. That's one of the reasons why we all don't give the best of ourselves. So you want to hang around. So when I'm talking about management, I'm not talking about one person managing the entire of life. No, you can have a covering, spiritual covering over your life. But if you're going to grow financially, then you need somebody that can really help you to understand financial management. That's why I say I have Destiny Partners. As Destiny Partner I have right now, he's been to my home about 2-3 times, just come reposition. He's one of the best consultants, financial consultant in the country right now. And so it was a beautiful, big privilege for us to have him. So he comes, helps us align, and we feel bad about ourselves because where we think we've done so well, even with our little management system, we discover we've not done so well. So he's able to help us align our finances in the right direction. So what do you have? Who can help you? Now, when it comes to management or your small business, your ideas, that's one place I play very well. And I've done so very well for a lot of people doing that. So nothing is a waste for as long as something that God has put into you. So I want you to go pray about these things, write them down. And but remember, one of the most important things I asked you is the fact that if you, because we are all going to die someday, if something happens tomorrow and then you leave Earth, would people celebrate the fact that you existed and then forget you in a hurry? Or would they remember you like Nelson Mandela? Would they remember you like Michael Jackson? Would they remember you like Steve Jobs? Where people that have been able to die and what they lived their life for still, matters. Will people still remember you for those things? And so that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be ending right now. I want you to go, remember I talked about 2 things, reasons and results. Reasons tend towards excuses, result tends towards outcome. So find what you have as a seed and then find the soils that can make the seeds actually become, that can make them become resources for you to grow. And the moment you're able to do that, I believe that life is going to be very beautiful for you. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very beautiful time speaking with you. We're going to continue this in every Sunday. Whether I'm prepared, whether I'm not prepared, I'm going to come on air for as long as I've made a promise. Every single time you tell yourself you're going to step out and do something that you've been called to do, something that you've been blessed to do, something you've been anointed to do, something you've been gifted to do, God always moves in the direction of your faith. I'll repeat that again. Every single time you do whatever you've been called to do, you've been divinely privileged to do, you've been blessed with capacity to do, and you step out in faith and do it, God works on the platform on the basis of the faith that you exercise. It doesn't work on the faith that you will exercise, but the faith that you exercise. So remember, it was T.D. Jakes that said something so many years ago. He said the first step is always the hardest step. But the reason we don't take that first step is that we're scared. Peter, walk onto me in water. Let's take that as an average, maybe your dream coming true. And so God is one. Now you want to pray every single time to God, but God is the one praying to you right now. Take that step. The moment Peter was able to, see who is calling him, who is giving him that ability, that authority, and he stepped his foot, he began to walk on water. But the moment he diverted his mind from reason, from outcome, and diverted his mind to reasons, why this is an anomaly, this is not meant to be, he started to sink. So that's the same thing I will leave with you this evening. You're going to keep on sinking if you want to see the reason why those things cannot be. I don't have the money, I don't have all that. And moreover, these are days where we have venture capitalists, we have angel investors, we have people that are willing to invest into your dreams and all that. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be introducing you to some in one of our podcasts. So ladies and gentlemen, it's really been my honor. My name remains Charles E. Ermaselli, and it's really been my honor to have hosted you on the Foundation for Success today. Remember, I love you. Your dreams are very important. If you want to get to me, you have the channels to get to me. You have my get to me on charles.com.ng. You can get to me on my Instagram page. You can get to me on my Facebook page. But what matters most is that you get to me. And please, you want to subscribe for the Foundation of Success classes. So get to the website and also get to click on the link to subscribe.